once sand mined, probably back in the 60s, 50s and 60s. And what you ended up with is they planted Bitou bush as a dune stabiliser. And you can see behind us you're getting this typical hummocks of Bitou bush all through here. And this is probably just one plant. It's very difficult for us to deal with it with these kind of tools because there are many stems. We'd have to cut and paint each one. But the good thing about this one that I'm noticing is that you have a biological control which was released in tip moth larvae, and the tip moth actually chews the centre part of the plant, and you can see this webbing in here, and inside that there is a small grub, and the grub's eating out the tip, which is where the flowers come. And so if you can stop these plants from flowering, then they won't produce seeds. Each Bitou bush can produce 50,000 viable seeds in a year. So as you can see, if you look along here, Bitou bush forever, millions of seeds are being produced. But if we get biological controls like this that can slow it down, it works in our favour and we've got a chance of controlling it. So here's a small plant which has just started to get buried by the sand, and even at this stage very hard to remove by hand because the main plant is way down there somewhere. So you'd have to go through, cut all these stems, poison them if you could, but very hard going. No. With these small plants you can hand remove them, but they have an extremely long taproot, which you can see there. That's going down and getting moisture from lower down, but also it means that the plant can keep growing through as the sand builds up around it. It just keeps growing through it. But that's how this plant can survive so well in these dry sand dunes. You can see here we've got a great example of the number of seedlings that will come up under one plant. 50,000 seedlings per plant are possible, and we've just recently had rain, and here you are, you can see all these seedlings coming up. Here we have a great example of the battleground that's going on in these dunes. In front of us here we've got one of the native acacias, Acacia sephori, being colonised by Bitou bush, and those two, the Bitou bush will probably end up taking over here unless we can get some sort of control on it. But what's more concerning is behind us. If you look through here you can see all these dead twigs. They were once healthy acacias, but last year we got a locust plague through here. They defoliated the acacia and they've died, and so now that provides yet another niche for the Bitou bush to colonise. Okay, so here you can see what typically forms in these front dunes. You've got the Bitou bush being buried by sand, but then you get these blowouts in between them, so you end up getting these big erosion blowouts. These plants die, this area becomes destabilised, and it's like this for about 17 kilometres all the way to Hat Head. When you go along this way to the lighthouse, we've started working on that area there, and it's quite a different story to here.